Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Conways on a Wednesday.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. And hi, Joy. Welcome, welcome. So glad you all could join us. We're on a day later because we had some inclement weather last night.
Yeah, I actually wasn't expecting it to hit until well after the our Tuesday talks. We're like, yeah, we're good to still have it. And about an hour before, my friend messaged and was like, hey, a tornado's heading your way. Thank you, we're fine. It did shift south. Some people are not as lucky.
Yeah.
But it was very scary for a while.
We
But
had,
that is why we had to. We were under
two confirmed touchdowns kind of near us. We
like
had
2 miles from our house.
Yes. So as a EF2, which was like 2 miles from us, on our way to the gym today, we actually saw a lot of downed trees in front of some yards from the wind damage and from the tornadoes. So we're thankful we were okay. And to my knowledge, I think there weren't any injuries. Thankfully.
To our knowledge, none, thankfully.
Yep. So welcome, Naomi. And then we also have several people on Instagram saying thank you so much for joining us again on this Wednesday when it's technically Tuesday. Tuesday Talks.
Tuesday Talks on Wednesday.
On Wednesday today. Yeah, feel free to comment where you're watching from. Like Naomi is watching from Kentucky, and our regular Joy here, Joy and Naomi are our regulars. We love having our regular comment. If this is your first time, so we can say hello. Yes, Diane, thank you so much. We are too, but we're kind of used to it.
Yeah, I mean it's always nerve-wracking, but we are in Tornado Valley, so.
Kathy from Nebraska, thank you. Thank you for that. But if you're free to comment on here, we're going to have a really good discussion tonight, and would love for comments and questions. Even if your questions are not directly on topic, we love interaction with you all. So if you wanted to
reminder beforehand, this is recorded. It will live on YouTube, and you can also find it on Spotify. Is it Apple Music?
Apple Podcasts.
It's different. I don't know these things. He does. But yes, if you want to listen to the or see the recordings, they are there.
Or go back and listen to some of our previous topics. We don't typically redo topics a lot, but hi, Robin from Mackinac City, Michigan. I have a sister and brother-in-law and some nieces and nephews in Michigan, so love the area. So glad that you are. Go ahead, and if you want to talk introduce our topic for tonight.
Tonight we're going to be talking about proof in the progress. Basically, all of the wins matter, scale or non-scale, and it's important to document all of the wins.
Absolutely. And some of this will kind of touch base with some similar topics we talked about. We're really big proponents on focusing on your view, and the whole tracking your progress kind of does touch on some of those mental health issues that we like to talk about as well. We have Sheila from South Jersey.
Is it Chelly?
Yes. Somewhere around there. Well, welcome. Glad to hear you all. But yes, so we're talking about documenting, no matter where you're at in your journey. If you've not done well at documenting before, start now. If you're at the beginning or you're in the middle or near your end, make sure, man. We'll talk a little bit more about that. If you want to talk about everyone matters, I'm gonna start that.
Yes. Like you said, everyone matters on the scale or off the scale, and there's nothing too small. Because some people think, oh, I lost half a pound this week. That is a win.
That's amazing. Or you didn't go up. That's also a win.
So every single win matters. The big, the small, and like we said, nothing is too small. You might feel like it's small, but to somebody else, it might be what you've been striving for months. You never know. So yes, every win matters in this journey from the beginning all the way to the end. There's always going to be something, whether it be big, small, that you can find that is a win.
And also wins can be not succumbing to cravings. So not managing to curb yourself when you're getting ready to binge, or if you do happen to binge, you stop yourself before going further. Those are wins too. Like, we can cake in the house. We got a cake for Kathleen for her finishing pre-K. Yep, Kathleen, there's her daughter. She's 5 years old, so she finished pre-K today, and so we got a cake. And
used to couldn't have cake in the house.
Yep.
Frosting is one of my weaknesses. It's not the cake itself, frosting. Oh my goodness. When I came in the house, and we have actually we've been portioning it out. We all got a piece today. There's still like
very small pieces.
Half of a cake left.
Yes.
Which is big because I would have eaten over half of the cake in one sitting by myself in the past. I almost didn't get the cake. I said, I don't know if I should have cake in the house. But the only time the cake was when we portioned it out and all three of us had it together, which is a huge win for me.
So very big. So wins there. So wins for overindulging, for pacing yourself for these, and also we're now in the point where if the cake goes bad and we didn't eat all of it, that's okay. And we don't like wasting food, but we're not going to eat it just for the sake of eating and make sure it's not wasting it. We're going to have what we want. We're going to portion out. We're going to be safe. And if we have not finish it all, it was on clearance anyway. So that in itself is also a big win.
Yes. So with all the wins, we want to talk a lot about documenting. And one thing with document those wins. I know some people that have journals where they write all of their like health journey wins, big or small. They just write it in there. So when they're struggling, they can go back and they can be like, oh yeah, I remember when this happened. Or, oh my goodness, it took me months to get to this point and it happened. Or like, oh my goodness, I was in a plateau and I got out of it. So documenting just the wins alone, scale, non-scale, all of them small. Find yourself a journal, write them down. Even if like every day you just write down one thing, even if you have to like sit there and think about it, get yourself a journal, write down your wins, like every single, it could even just be a calendar where every day you write a different win so you can go back and look at them. You're struggling and need a reminder that you have done amazing.
Absolutely. And Kathy's on Facebook that she craves sugar. So sugar is addicting. Courtney went through one time, and we don't recommend this all the time, but she went through like a sugar detox type thing where she didn't do any sugars. It was hard, but it was enlightening just to kind of see how much she craves for that. Granted, she did introduce sugar back in. It was just like a week long period. Sugar is addicting, and depending on your inclination, I like the savory things, and Courtney likes the sweet thing. It can be hard to conquer that.
Yes, it is very hard. I have been on this health journey for about 5 now, and I still have issues. Like today, I said I didn't binge on cake. That does not mean a month from now I'm not going to binge on cake. Like it's something I do. Time is my sugar cravings and my binge that goes along with that. So definitely you were not in your sugar cravings. I promise you that.
Absolutely. But just like we mentioned, enjoy those wins, and having those wins and documenting those wins can help you be more successful. So if you feel like you're getting ready to get on and get an overeat on the sugar, look back at some of your journals, look back at some of your photos. And photos is another big thing. We were even before our journey, and we were at our highest. We didn't like taking full length photos of us. We would probably stick to selfies or headshots because
we'd hide in the back.
Yeah, or we'd hide behind people or hide behind objects because we didn't like the way we looked, and kind of regret that now, not having all those pictures. So when we our transformation Tuesday posts, which are important, that's also going to be something we'll talk about in our documentation process. We have some of the same before pictures over and over again because we just have a limited number of photos that we have a lot of shots.
Yeah, I only have like 4 or 5. So that's the next point is pictures. Especially if you're at the beginning of your journey, take the pictures, even if it's just a picture only for you to see. Stand there, get the full body picture, because I promise you, when you get further along, you're going to want pictures so you can see the difference. Because sometimes you can't see it. You're seeing yourself every single day. And the pictures really helps. Sometimes I will put my like current picture next to one of my older pictures and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I still the mental thing. I still feel like I'm 100 pounds ago. You need those pictures to see them. So especially if you're at the beginning of your journey, take pictures, even if it's just to put in a folder in your phone and it's for my eyes only, just so you have them in the future.
Absolutely. And it also goes back to where we talk about the mental health aspect. Talked about this multiple times. You really have to learn to love your body in its current state so that you can love yourself when you're at your goal. Because if you don't, even when you get to your goal weight, you're still going to probably have self-esteem issues. So work on that now. Love the body you're in. While I'm happy that I've made the progress and I've lost the weight and I'm a lot more healthier after those pictures with less regret. Like I still am happy that I made this transition. So don't look back on your older pictures with kind of disgust. Just be happy about the journey and enjoy yourself as you are and as you're going to be as well.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, take the pictures. It can be hard. I know it can be hard. But like I said, we used to hide in the background. I think I have 4 or 5 pictures from the beginning journey.
Yep.
And I wish I had more.
Yep. And Liddell 9217 on Instagram mentioned measurements too. That's definitely what was going to be one of our talking points. Jumping ahead, which not jumping in, we're actually getting to that point. Permanent measurements is very important.
Yes.
And that's something we don't really do.
We don't take them as we should. I actually had someone on Instagram message me that because I've been struggling with bloat, and someone was like, "Girl, take your measurements because I promise you, you're looking amazing." Thank you. Take your measurements because she was like, "I promise you're probably losing like inches, even if you're up on the scale."
Something that Joy on here is a really good proponent for. She does a really good job at taking her measurements and keeping track of it. So those are really Joy just mentioned she did that before and after this morning. Those measurements are going to be very, very important. That's something we can probably do a little bit better at. Measure your arms, your chest, and your stomach, your legs, all those types of things. See your progress. And that's also something that is important, that if you're focusing on weight training, you may not lose the weight because you're also going to be gaining muscles, but you'll be losing the fat too. So that's something that you'll want to keep an eye on. Use that to help keep you motivated and going forward if the pounds are not coming off because you're focusing on weight training.
Yes, but that's also something that, just like the pictures, you really want to try to start towards the beginning. I wish I had taken my measurements. I don't know how much I've lost. I know I've lost multiple sizes and shirt sizes, so obviously I have lost inches, but I don't know how many inches I've lost, and I wish I'd have done that at the beginning so I could know, oh my goodness, I've lost how many inches? Definitely, especially but even if you're not at the beginning, like start now and take your measurements, because like even in a month, you'd be surprised if you're consistent how many inches and you could lose overall in just a month. When I started my strength training, I lost a crazy, I don't remember what it was, but I did take my measurements during that time. I lost a crazy amount of weight during that time. Or not weight, but I actually gained weight, but inches. I lost the amount of inches during that time. So definitely start at the beginning of your journey. But if you're not at the beginning, just go ahead and start now with your measurements.
And there's lots of different ways you can measure track it. You can track it in notes, track it in like a spreadsheet. Also apps. There's an app that we haven't used in a while, but it is called Body Tracker. And it not only measurements, but it also lets you take photos and of your progress and an overlay photo with the new photo so that you can make sure you line them up just right. So those little kind of slideshow transitions, you can see the progress better too. So use an app if you want to. There's lots of different apps, but if anything, spreadsheet or a note sheet to kind of keep track of things. But those apps sometimes, like I said, you can do the photos along with the measurements and see the differences, and that's going to be really, really important for your journey.
Yes. So along with documenting your wins, documenting the pictures, documenting your measurements, also do probably need to document your weight. A lot of people say, the scale doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, most of it, not all of us, but most of us are on this health journey to try to lose weight. So knowing what you weigh, especially at the beginning, is very crucial. Like I said, I have lost a little over 100 pounds, and I wouldn't know that. Like I wouldn't know that I've met that huge milestone if I documented at the very beginning. And that's usually what most people do, is they get on that scale. And I'm not saying you have to weigh all the time, because I know sometimes it's with people's, mind, but every 2 or 3 months, get on the scale and see where you're at. Document that number, because at the end of the day, it is data.
Whether you go up or whether you go down, it's still important.
I'm a daily weigher because I like to see fluctuations. I know at certain points of the month, I'm going to be up. I'm going to be bloated before my time of the month. And at a couple other times, I know I'm going to be bloated. And I like seeing that fluctuation. So if I happen to get on this, like if I weigh once a week and I'm on the scale during that fluctuation, I'm going to be frustrated that I'm up. But since I'm weighing every day and I know this fluctuation's coming, if that makes sense. Definitely document your weight from the beginning, just so you know where you're at.
I'm typically either a weekly weigher or a monthly weigher. Just various. I haven't documented in a couple weeks. So at the very least, every month, maybe every month, just kind of get your progress. I wish I had tried weight when I was younger, because the weight that I am now, I've lost 100 pounds. I don't remember because I didn't diet very well. I don't remember the last time I was at this weight. I didn't weigh myself in college, so I don't know, when I'm getting close to my college weight,
Yes.
which would be exciting. I would love to have had my weight for when I was in college, so that I can be like, oh wow, I've gotten down to my college weight. So I can use photos for that. I do have some photos from the college area too. So we'll to keep that. But I would say at least every month or every other month, document your weight.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was looking at Instagram. It's kind of choppy on Instagram. Are you guys hearing us okay on Instagram? It looks kind of choppy. Anyways, but yes, like you said, I did actually know what I weighed in college. It's funny. I weigh about 20 pounds more than I did in college, but I'm actually like 2 sizes smaller. So that's why we do say the weight doesn't really as much, because I weigh more, but I am smaller and heavier. But our last thing about documenting is your clothes. This is where it gets a little iffy, because men's seems to be a little bit more consistent,
Maybe
more than women's. Women's, like, I can wear a size 16 in some stuff, things I wear 24, but just having a general idea of clothing size from the beginning, just so like, I've lost this many sizes. I like to have one article of clothing from my large, just so I can kind of compare them. So that's another thing. Keep from your highest weight. Keep something.
Yeah, don't get rid of all of the clothes that just because they're too big. Like when we were going through our stuff a couple months ago, we went through our wedding bins, and I got out my pants.
My goodness.
That I wore when married, and I was like a size 54 when we got married, and I could practically get into just one pant leg.
He's a 40 now, some 38s.
Yeah, some 38s. So keep some of those old. You can keep them in comparison. It's fun to hold them up to yourself in photos. It's fun to get in them. No, Courtney, if she were to her wedding dress now, it would practically swallow her up. So keep those things, and it's fun to get them, and those also give you motivation as well.
Like he said, or like we said, whatever. Keep the clothing, keep track of what your size, what it is now, because that is a huge thing. And also one other thing, we're kind of flying through this faster than I anticipated, but one other thing with documenting and journaling is also document how you're feeling. That really could be beneficial, like even at the beginning. Sometimes you're just feeling motivated and ready to go. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes your mental health is struggling, sometimes it's not. So having a journal to back up of today I was motivated, today I was not, today I was feeling a little anxious. It might also help you kind of figure out, like, one thing is foods can affect our minds. If you're keeping track of what you're eating, which is another thing you should probably document, keeping track of what you're eating and keep how you're feeling. If there is a time where you're just not, if you're feeling sluggish, not feeling your best, you can look back and see if there's any common denominator.
Oh yeah.
And that definitely will help if you're trying to figure out why you're sluggish, once or twice a week.
If you have a mild food allergy, or we just have not been doing fried foods, and whenever we have any fried foods, because we don't do cheat days, but we sometimes will have a cheat snack or a cheat meal. I get some chicken tenders or something.
I am so grumpy after I've had fried food. Like, I've mentioned to him, I can tell, like, I'm not just sluggish when I've had fried foods. I am grumpy. Like, I think I'm grumpy because I'm so sluggish, but like, I will almost act like I do right before the month. Like, I am grumpy, I'm lashing out at people, and it's all because of the fried foods. And it took me a while to realize that, but that's why, like I said, documenting your food, like what you eat, that's where tracking on the Healthy app does come in play. Because you can go back and be like, this is what it's all there in the app if you've tracked it. But keeping track of your moods. If I didn't know, like, when I had this fried food, I was grumpy, I still wouldn't put the two together. So definitely documenting your foods along with how you're feeling that day will help in general, because sometimes people have allergies, don't even know it. I have a friend, her hands break out when she has gluten. She didn't know it until she stopped eating. Just that was just her normal thing. She thought that was just her hands. Now she doesn't eat gluten. Her hands don't break out anymore. So, sometimes you have allergies and you don't even realize.
It can be mild and it just make you slightly uncomfortable, but that slightly uncomfortable feeling you get can lead you to being grumpy and grouchy and irritable and types of things. So keep an eye on things. I've noticed a little bit lately that that the fruits and sometimes the fruit packets, so like the flavor packets you put in water, have been bothering my throat a little bit. So where I think that I was getting sick, it's just something in those packets was irritating my throat. And so pay attention to those things and keep track of them and see how they go.
Yes, but not sadly, but sometimes it's just a lot of work. So sometimes the health journey is just a lot documenting, tracking your foods is documenting. It's documenting your foods, documenting the pictures. Like, it's a lot of documenting. But at the end of the day, it's going to be so great for you. Can look back. You can look back and be like, this is how far I've come, because you do have those pictures, those measurements, because you have your weight, because you're tracking your food. Like, so documenting is huge in a health journey. And sometimes you just gotta start small. Like, I've heard of some people just tracking breakfast, and then the next week they go to tracking breakfast and lunch until they've worked a whole day, because tracking is a lot.
Well, and not only that, I just was thinking, it wasn't on our notes, that having that documentation, documenting your weight, documenting your size, and documenting your eating. If you need to go to the doctor to get assistance with your weight, like you're doing it, so going to them with, this is what I've eaten the past 2 months. This is the activities that I've done. This is this is the change or a lot in my weight. You have all that data there for the doctor. They can take a look and see that also if there's any allergies, you've tracked all of their food you've eaten for the past couple of months, and you can to what you might be more allergic to if you have a gluten allergy or anything like that. So that documenting is very good for the health side of things, so that you can see your doctor if you need to.
Yes, but also just a reminder that, because it can sometimes, it's also okay to take a break sometimes. If you take a break from tracking, if you need to take a break from weighing, like, it's just not doing the greatest for your mind, taking a break is okay as well. Just need a break sometimes.
And I just realized that we both talk with our hands a lot.
I don't know.
I have no idea. My grandmother used to joke with me that if she made me sit on my hands, I wouldn't be able to talk. That's funny. I don't always pay attention to it when I've got the screen in front of me.
Oh yeah.
Funny that I noticed that you were doing it too.
But yes, documenting. I'm about to do it.
It's okay.
Key. So yes.
Absolutely. So keep up with it. Share your journey with others. If you're comfortable, share those photos.
Yes,
but you keep those photos to yourself if you need to.
That's where things like our Instagram and all. Not, I know a lot of you are on Instagram, on Facebook, have a page where you share those things. Sharing those things, they're also there, for you to look back at as well. If you don't document it, but you do make the post, it's there as well. So things like that can be documenting as well.
Absolutely. And Lodell9217 on Instagram says that tracking bites because they add up fast and they keep you honest. Absolutely. They add up. Sometimes they can sneak up on you.
Yes. And one thing just with that, scan it before you eat it, because sometimes you think, oh, this is going to be like 4 bites, and it's like 30. Maybe that's no.
Yeah, you can't uneat things. So scan it first, so there's a chance to change your mind. Yes. Absolutely. So we've got 5 minutes left. Go on to our recipe.
This is very good. We actually had it for dinner 2 nights ago.
Yes, and Caslin absolutely loved it.
Yeah, so it's child approved. She's 5 and she loved it. It's a little bit spicy salsa, but she loves, like her daddy, she loves spicy stuff. She didn't mind. But this is taco sloppy joes. A pound of any sort of ground beef, used 97 lean, 1.5 cups of salsa. That's just shy of a normal 16-ounce jar of salsa. A tablespoon of brown sugar or brown sugar replacement, like Swerve. A tablespoon of just yellow mustard, and then 6 buns. Just the lower carb, lower calorie option, Carb Master hamburger buns from Kroger. But there are other versions. We actually just use regular hamburger buns because we're cheap, and the other ones are usually more expensive. But corned beef until it's cooked through. Drain the grease, obviously. Stir in the salsa, brown sugar, and mustard, and then turn down the heat a little bit and cook it until it's like bubbling. I let it sit there for like 5 minutes. Um, and it thickened up a good bit and it was just perfection. But then you just put it on a hamburger bun with the top, like some Greek yogurt taco mixture type situation on there. And but you can also do, like, I've seen someone do like tortilla chips, which I wanted to do for a little bit of crunch. We didn't have tortilla chips, but like any toppings you like, you can put on there. It will add some calories, but it is so good. You literally just cook the meat, add the other into it, mix it, and it's good to go.
You can have it on the burger, or as she mentioned, you could have it with on tortillas.
Yes, we
chips.
actually the left made a cottage cheese bowl with it. So we just put it in the cottage cheese bowl with cottage cheese and cheese and a few like taco toppings, and it was good. So you don't even have to put this on a bun. You can make a cottage cheese bowl with it. You can put it in a tortilla. You can put it over rice, whatever you want to do. It's very good, and it is child approved. This is
between 5 and 6 bites.
Yes, thank you for finishing my sentence. Finishing my sandwich. 254 calories, 10 net carbs, 34.4 grams of protein, which is, and I will say this says 6 servings, but it actually makes pretty decent size servings. So you could probably get 8 of this if you really wanted to.
Absolutely. So it is quite delicious. And as she said, kid approved, customizable. We had the leftovers in a cottage cheese bowl. So let us know if you decide to make this and it's something you enjoy. I think we're looking forward to the recipe that we're going to share next week.
Yes. I am excited. It's my current hyperfixation breakfast. So if you're on our Instagram, you've probably already seen it, or dessert, but it's so good. And
it's so kind of like a mashup between the yogurt bowl that we've shared before and somebody else's yogurt bowls that they shared on their Instagram, and kind of combined the two to make them even more protein filled. Tons of protein. So join us next week. I'm on Tuesday at 7:30.
Yes, it will be Tuesday this week.
Yes, barring any emergencies. We'll be back on our regular schedule next Tuesday at 7:30 sometime.
Yes. Hope you guys have an amazing evening.
Thank you so much. Take care.